Here we are. Let's go. So, a small introduction and the agenda about me first. I started like EI like in November 30 for, as many of you, I guess, is the moment ChatGPT was created. On my side, I'm just a kid playing around and playing quite a lot. And that's why I would like to show you which kind of toys I found recently and which can be super interesting for your job position today. If I go to the next slide, it's just like the company for who I'm working at the moment is Upthrust. We are in the section of growth marketing. Upthrust is like a big agency in Belgium and all Europe. And what do we do mostly for our clients is growth and acceleration. I've seen some of the names here and I recognize some people I've worked with. And it's always a pleasure to see you back and returning. The agenda, because we don't have a lot of times and the subject can be so big. I'm going to go quite fast on the ChatGPT overview and focus mostly on tips and practices and then Q&A. Just a little joke for you to see how I made this agenda. About the question part, be aware that you can always ask a question at the end of the session, otherwise you can just drop them in the chat and I'm going to reply them automatically with ChatGPT later. So I will just extract all your questions, put that in ChatGPT or Playground, and honestly, the answer will be 10 times better than my own. So we work this way. Let's get started. Are you ready? Revolution. It's just little storytelling there. I remember when I was discovering ChatGPT, it was, I think, the 1st or 2nd of December. So I was a bit delayed compared with the 30th. And it was crazy because I used the tool and definitely I was hooked from second one. And I started to show that to all my friends. And some of them were like, yeah, I don't really get it. What do you use it? One of my roommates, for example, is primary school, is secondary school teacher for the Dutch classes in Belgium. And it was like, yeah, I don't really get it. It's not going to change education. I don't really see it. Okay, fine. And then I showed the tool to my grandma. And my grandma, the first thing she did was to write a poem about her late past husband. Wow. So you give a kind of new tech to someone who is not used to it, and directly they understand it. And they play with it and they create prompts with it, etc. And this is the new revolution that we are facing today. Artificial intelligence, honestly, is not new. And the technology behind ChatGPT that I'm going to explain you is not new neither. What is new is the user experience. The fact that everybody can use it in a super, super, super easy way. And this is the real revolution. Here, little joke again, like provide me the slides that I can create for this presentation. Just little joke again. This is the list that I received some days ago from ADM about the participants. This is all the companies of people who should have joined, for example. Packard, KBC, that's some names I know, for example, Oracle, Proximus, okay, great. But there are some companies that I don't know, and I wanted to create something that corresponds to everybody. And for that, I needed an overview of what you're doing. So what did I do? I just copy paste all the names of the company, and I asked to provide me the URL and the challenges today. Yeah, that was a long place. And here I received for each company, like Acertas, that is data analytics company, ADM Alumni, Yay, Asher, Class Corpo. I'm going to show you that sometimes it's not correct. The best is ADM Alumni. It's an organization provides resources for Aalto Finland, University of Finland. I don't think it's correct. We'll just mention that a bit later, like when the EI is incorrect or not. But you see that I got all this list with the names, and because sometimes I can be hyper lazy. I can put that directly in table and put that in Excel sheet. For me, it was a super nice way to get an overview of who will join this meeting today. Is it a revolution? To my point of view, yes. The little task that I show you from this list to have everything in one Excel extra, which is clean up everything, yeah, like this, it would have taken me like maybe 2 hours. It took me, honestly, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes less. The revolution which is going to impact all of us, yes, as well. In ChatGPT is quite new. It's from the 30th of November 2022. So it has less than 3 months if we think about it. And in less than 5 days, they had 1 million users. Interesting story. Today, we don't know how many users are using daily ChatGPT. What we know, and honestly, it's a good reference for me, is that when in December, I was really alone. And I was just discussing it on Discord and Slack with some colleagues or some peers around the world. In February, all the media are talking about it in Belgium. And I've been invited to some newspaper and those kind of things just to discuss the tool and to explain how it's going to change the business as we used to do today. Why I'm showing this is because I guess most of you is on Facebook today and see that Facebook, it took almost 10 months to get 1 million users. ChatGPT 5 days. So the tool is really booming. The tool is booming, but it's not the end. At the moment, ChatGPT is not connected with the internet and has a limited database. So to give you an idea there, all the text that you can find from the artificial intelligence is dated from 2021 and before. It means that if I ask the weather on ChatGPT yesterday, it will not be able to answer me. If I ask the weather in December 2021, I will receive an answer. The future, it will be even crazier. This is the amount of resources that ChatGPT is based on. ChatGPT 4, which is the future version of it, will have around 10. If someone who has really good eyes, I think it's around 100,000 more data resources. So believe me, at the moment, the way I use it, I'm always quite impressed by the answers. But once it will be even bigger with even more data resources, it's going to be just insane. Today, ChatGPT 3 passes all tests. Tests to be engineer at Amazon, tests to do the le barreau, tests to do a lawyer's advocacy, tests to pass software engineer at MIT. So at the moment, ChatGPT is all the different job functions in the world at the highest level. And it's just the beginning. Now, the question that I receive all the time, and I guess that's why we have so many here at the moment, is AI, artificial intelligence, going to replace my job, mine or yours? I've got a position there. Up to you to decide what's your position and what do you think will fit the most in your mindset. I do think that artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, for example, is going to destroy a lot of tasks that we used to do. Typically, there are some people, they will be paid to make those kind of lists. Okay. You see that now, I'm not a market researcher or something like this, but I could do that within 10 minutes. So it's true that it's going to impact the business as we used to do in the past. It's true it's going to impact a lot consultancy business. Why? Because we sell information. It's true it's going to impact developers, who at the moment are the divas of the market because not a lot of Belgian people know how to code. It's true it's going to impact all the tech industry. And you have certainly seen that in the news, like in California and United States at the moment, they are firing a lot of data engineers, software engineers from Google, from Amazon, from all the GAFAM. We are talking about around 200,000. And those profiles, usually we were begging to have them in your different companies. I saw some people from Oracle, from SAP in this audience. At the moment, the human resource officers, they are begging to receive those kind of profiles. AI is going to change a lot of things. Is it going to replace your job? No, if you adapt. AI is going to make your job more efficient. AI is going to help you to do less monkey task in a more efficient way. With AI, we can rethink about the 4 days week, for example. With AI, we can think about like, why not 1 day of work per week? You will see that your efficiency, and after I'm going to show you a lot of different business cases, how you can really be so efficient that in the end, the 40 hours work week doesn't make sense because you will be able to do the same amount of work with 10 hours. This is at the moment, the CEO of OpenAI. Is the company behind ChatGPT. And all the concept of ChatGPT is about being fast. What do I mean by that is that at the moment, it's not the best results, to be honest, but it's just so strong in the time that you receive. What do I mean by that is that if you ask ChatGPT create an article for you, it will not be the article #1 in the New York Times. Okay, but still, you took 10 minutes to create that article. And this would be your main advantage compared with your competitors. Why? Because suddenly you can do a lot of amounts, you can do a lot of work with 10,000 hours less, for example. Okay, this is super interesting, and it will close my introduction. What's about the legal position here? At the end of the session, there is someone specialized about law and copyright law who will give his insights. Here's my insights as a marketer. So be careful, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a jurist neither. What do I know? And I'm in Brussels right now, really close to the European Commission, is that the time that they create like a kind of a jurisdiction around artificial intelligence is going to take a while. Why? Because as I showed just before here, ChatGPT is based on a lot of resources. When it creates a text, who is the owner of this text? Is it me who wrote an article in 2005? Is it all the different writers? Is it the person who wrote the prompt? Is it ChatGPT itself? It's a super, super complex answer there. And to be honest, today we are just in a gray zone where we don't know exactly what's the copyright situation on everything written by ChatGPT. I will show you different tools. Some tools, especially visual tools, ask you not to use the images for advertisement, those kind of things. But on ChatGPT, at the moment, everybody uses it. Okay, let's continue. Benefits for you. You will receive the sliders. So if you don't want to write, don't write. I put some time links for you. Like this, you will be able to see everything and focus on what I'm saying at the moment. So little jokes here is the amount of use cases you can have for ChatGPT stops to your possibility, to your capability to think and imagine business cases. Every day on LinkedIn, because at the moment super trendy on LinkedIn, I find a new slider, a new blog post with another idea of how I can use ChatGPT. And believe me, it's just insane. All the time, this tool impressed me even more and more and more and more. So this is really the main idea of this, is that the possibility of ChatGPT is the possibility of your brain and the possibility of what you can imagine of being possible. I took some cases that I think are quite cool to show off. It's not especially the best, and it's not the one that will be the best for your company. So honestly, the best thing you can do is just check your daily activities, your daily tasks, and you just try to automate them on ChatGPT. We get started. Brainstorm. It's an insane tool if you want to look for new ideas. Company names can be SEO, keyword research. It can be blog post ideas, etc. Sometimes, it's like a Sunday late at 11, and you need to write an innovative email or innovative article, and your brain is just down. Robots don't have that problem. They don't have those moments of drain and energy peak and energy flow. They just do what you ask them to do, whatever the time. It means that if you need to have 10 or 100 crazy ideas for your new business at 2 a.m. after a crazy party in Antwerp, ChatGPT will give you 100 different ideas for your business. No question asked. In less than 5 minutes, just the time to write a prompt, you can have really, really serious and qualitative ideas. Can be for your marketing, can be for human resource, can be for accountancy, can be for business owners, entrepreneurs, bloggers, whatever you do, whatever your hobby. I actually, at the moment, I'm dancing quite a lot, and I'm finding new dance moves on ChatGPT. So it can be outside your business environment as well. If we have some investors among you, so why I'm writing this, because I found a lot of people in the banking environment. You can use ChatGPT as market research for investment, for example. Here, I gave an example, top shares about dividends. Be aware that ChatGPT will never be a financial advisor, a real one, but it can always be a kind of insight. For example, ChatGPT give me the last dividends, the last 5 years about this company, and give me 10 different alternatives in China, or 10 different alternatives for the Nasdaq examples. I've seen a lot of small companies among you guys, and you certainly know about the blue ocean and lean startup mindset. If it's not the case, I totally advise this book from Eric Rice about lean startup, the way of creating a small company super efficient. And you see that here, I can propose ChatGPT directly to create a business model Canva. It can be for your own company like KBC, Ormit, etc. And it will create directly a business model Canva. Be aware that when I was doing business as my studies, those kind of tools, that's what we used to do, like from Bachelor 1 to Master 2. It took me maybe 1 hour or 2 hours to make it. Here, it took me like 5 minutes. Here, sometime you can do as well, provide me a brief go-to-market for the first paying customers. For example, if you want to have new ideas about how you can get your first customer for a new market, for a new segment, extra, you will receive a bunch of ideas. This one is my favorite. You remember what I showed you over there, this little list? Imagine, and I will take a company here, Baloise, okay, insurances and final products. Pop, pop, pop. Give me 5 top competitors of Baloise in Belgium. Make it in a table. Provide me amount of followers. Sorry, someone can. Amount. Okay, let's start. because I don't see all the things, sorry. Okay. Example. Obviously, more I give information in my prompt, more I will receive competitors and research. Typically example, I was looking for a competitor for a client of us, and I asked in my prompt, give me the website URL, LinkedIn URL, Facebook URL, explain why they're different from us, which product is really the best seller compared with our client, etc. And this you can just copy paste, put that in Excel, and you did a serious market research, computer research in minutes. This is what we give to an intern for like sometime 4 days work or 1 week. Like, oh, look at this company. Here, it's super, super efficient. The example you can do as well, like pastel analysis. Once again, my student time will be shocked by this. And other times, sometimes you can have a look to once again, the startup environment, check on the best funding this year, or not this year, but in 2021, 2010, etc., etc. This is my personal point of view. Up to you to give another one if you think. But for me, ChatGPT at the moment is 100 times better than Google. The joke here is, did you ChatGPT it? Did you check it in advance? Why I'm saying this is because actually, if I do a research on Google at the moment, this is what's Google is going to provide me. A lot of results. Yeah, they're really proud that they have around 1 million different pages. The thing is that I'm looking for practical ChatGPT prompts, and you see that I will need to go to each one of them to get the information I'm looking for. Compare with ChatGPT, where if I was asking directly, give me different ChatGPT prompts or give me analysis about this competitor, directly I've got my answer. So that's why at the moment, there is a huge trend to go to Microsoft and Bing extra, not to use Google anymore, because when we think about it, when we look something on Google, like it provide me the best restaurant in Antwerp, I don't want to go to a list of TripAdvisors with reviews extra. I just want a list of the best restaurant based on review point. And it's true that that's where ChatGPT at the moment is so strong, and that people use it for a lot of different things. Here, I give an example. That's the results from Google, and then I need to click on the different links, have a look, extra. Here's the results from ChatGPT. Directly, I got my answer. By the way, this is a little Chrome extension that you can download. It's for free. So every time you will look for something on Google, you will have obviously the answer from Google, but on the side, you will have the answer from ChatGPT. And obviously, you will prefer this. If you're a bit following the trend at the moment, ChatGPT is synchronized with Bing, and this is crazy. Yeah, because we follow trends, so it's the moment to share that. Typically, I see some people from Telenet here. Imagine I go to your website on Telenet, and I just ask like, okay, provide me a different landing page for this, or summarize this page for me. Directly, you can connect like, and this, when I was saying that ChatGPT at the moment is not connected with the internet, it's true. But if you do with Bing, you can connect both. For example, if I go to the last football match of Anderlecht, and I ask for reporting on Bing, directly ChatGPT will be able to do it. Be aware that this function on Bing at the moment is not available for everybody. It's on the beta testing. So if you want to have that function, you need to be in a waiting list, and they will send you an email. Here, if you have worked with developers in Belgium, usually they tend to act as a dev. I'm sorry if there is any developer here or data scientist, But here's the thing. As a marketer, usually we want to change something on the website, like, hey, can you change this banner, please? Or can you change this button? And usually the developers, they put your request on the lowest part of the to-do list, which means that, yeah, we'll do it, which means I will do it in 1 year, or I will never do it. And it's true that my coding skills in Ruby, Python, Extra is quite low. And it's a struggle sometimes because I really need the help and they cannot provide it to me. So it's so insane when ChatGPT can create code for me. And you test a bit on your side if you're a bit techy, and suddenly it works and you're like, oh my God, all this time wasted for nothing. So ChatGPT can code for you, can code in HTML, can code in JavaScript, can make a full website for you. And this is really a game changer for everybody. Another thing is that if you're a bit into Excel, Google Sheet, and those kind of things, you will be impressed that ChatGPT can create like formulas for you. To be honest, it's possible that you don't use Excel anymore. For example, a lot of you might use Excel for filtering things, to create pivot table, extra. To be honest, I can just do this, put that inside ChatGPT, and ask for requests. If you check your financial results, you can think, and it's super efficient to just put your financial results in ChatGPT and be like, hey, calculate my return on investment. So it's possible that in the future we might not even use Excel anymore. Because I'm a marketer, it seems important to me that to share some slides here for you. You can create like different campaign objective with budget extra. Sometimes I receive brief from you guys, which doesn't make sense, or sometimes not detailed enough to know exactly what do you need. You can create brief directly by asking ChatGPT. So for example, you can write like, okay, write an agency brief for Baloise. We want to target the Gen Z in Brussels next year for 2,000 euros per month. Boom. And then you will receive a full brief that you can just send to me if necessary. Campaigns in minutes. Some of you sometimes struggle to find the good ideas for headlines, for blog posts, for what to write. If you're a salesperson, for example, I find a lot of salesperson here. What do you write if someone sends you a nice email or a proposal that you want to refuse extra? You can just drop your email to ChatGPT and ask for reply in a polite and professional way. Boom, you get your reply. This is like an example of things that you can do. For example, if you have to work with influencers, if you work with anybody and you need scripts, for example, you can ask, okay, write a 30-second script for TikTok influencers. Can be write a script for, or write a legal document for my notary to buy my new house in Antwerp, for example. It closed a bit the subject of ChatGPT, and I would like to show you other AI because there is not only ChatGPT at the moment, which is insanely good. There are a lot of tools, and we don't talk enough about them. ChatGPT is mostly text to text. So you give text, you receive text, or tables, those kind of things, but you have other stuff as well. Text to video, text to audio, audio to text, text to 3D, text to NFT. So you see that there are a lot of type of artificial intelligence that can use at the moment. And you will be impressed by combining them, what you can create. I will give you some examples. First, the generation of visuals. You might have seen a lot of pictures like this on LinkedIn. It's called Midjourney, it's free, so that's why everybody uses it. But how does it work? It works like from a text, it's going to create a prompt, and this prompt is connected with database of images, and it's going to add different, recreate, let's say, from this database. So you can end up with cosmonauts, crocodile. You can end up with I've seen amazing results there, and it's super strong and free. You can create landing page, you can create new products, you can have a full design just by writing a prompt. For example, you can create like the new sneakers in Belgium for entrepreneurs, for example, and you will end up with a bunch of sneakers. That is a company a bit different. It's from OpenAI, the same company behind ChatGPT. I love them because the quality of pictures really look real. So I use it for advertisement. For example, here I asked for a protein supplement inside the gym, and you see that. So this product doesn't exist. This one neither. Like they're made by robots. But when you look at it, it looks real. It looks like a real protein powder. Compared with Midjourney, where sometimes you feel that it's too much illustration, too much AI. This one I prefer, especially for advertisement, because it looks so real. You will be impressed if you put your own pictures, your own faces extra, and you ask, for example, make me as a cosmonaut. The result is just scary. I was explaining to combine different tools like this. You can be even better and use artificial intelligence to the maximum of possibilities. Typical example that we'll do for this webinar and that I used to do on YouTube. I like a video on YouTube, great. I just create a transcript from this video. On this transcript, I'm going to just copy paste, put that on ChatGPT and ask for, I don't know, a blog post, an article, a summary. You can recreate another video, for example, from one video on YouTube. Here on this webinar, we are recording the transcript. This transcript we're just going to put in ChatGPT and ask for a summary that we will send you afterwards. There was a time, I don't know if I'm not sure I was born at that time, but there was a kind of secretary who would have written everything that I'm saying and then summarizing by hand just afterwards. Can you believe that now it would look insane if there was someone like this? I'm just checking the time. Okay. Tips and best practices, and then we can go for different questions extra. And the tips that I'm going to give are personal. They are based on what I use at the moment, and I think they can be super useful to you. If you have other tips, just feel free to share in the chat, because everybody we should share knowledge with each other, because when it's a new tool, everybody has his own mindset. Everybody has his own way of seeing it or using it, different function, different job as well. But what I'm showing here for me is the basis, and from this base you can extend. Okay, this one is super common. If you use ChatGPT, which is this one, okay, you will see that the server crashed quite often. What do I mean by that is that there was a time it was not accessible only when California was awake, which means between 5 to 3 a.m. you can be sure that the server crashed. Now you can be sure that the server crashed most of the time. There was a solution for that. It's called Playground. Here, Playground is paid. It's exactly the same. It's OpenAI. The only difference is that you can play a bit more. And to be honest, if you want to use ChatGPT daily and to use it for a bit more complex stuff, to import really big documents extra, to my point of view, Playground is better. ChatGPT you can upgrade. They have now an upgrade platform for $20 per month. You can have access even if the demand is high. Up to you to decide if you upgrade it or not, or pay for Playground. At the moment, Playground is not that expensive, so I would prefer Playground to my point of view. But you decide. Here, ChatGPT, where it's really strong, is that it creates nice table compared with Playground. I continue my presentation. Patience, you must learn. Be aware that behind ChatGPT, you have machine learning, and it's possible that the first prompt that you did was not the best. The first answer that you would receive, you're like, oh my God, so bad. Don't stop there. Keep going. Define, precise your prompts. The more requests and the more precise you will be, the better it will be. Don't forget that there is a full history over there. And what's happening is that ChatGPT understands better and better and better who you are and which kind of content to use and how you use the tool. I was talking about prompt. Prompt is a request. I see so many people who just will write stuff like this. Give me, let's take someone else. Yeah. Let's go financial results for, okay. What's the problem with that prompt and why the results will not be very good, I guess? By the way, I'm not even sure that you would recognize. Is because I don't give details. I am not precise. I'm not, yeah, voilà. For example, I'm not precise. I'm not explaining exactly what do I need extra. And typically when you do a short prompt, you will receive a short answer or something too generic, which is not super interesting for you. Compare with when you write a big prompt, when you express a bit who you are, what do you expect, which kind of instruction you give. I would like the financial results for this company between 2010 and 2012. I would like to know who is the PDG, who is the CEO, the financial advisor. Please provide me resources and references of who have worked on the financial department, and then you can add like different function, right? As you were Shakespeare's, for example, you will see that the prompt that you create and the results then will be even better. When I was explaining like act as a Shakespeare, is because you will see that ChatGPT is way, way, way stronger if you give them a instruction and a role, let's say. Like imagine that you are CEO or financial advisor of this company, then you write your prompts. Why it's super interesting to do this? Because be aware that there is a tone, a kind of a style that ChatGPT will adapt. And sometimes you want text which correspond to that style. For example, if I ask ChatGPT to write as a journalist, you will see that the answer will be super neutral. If I ask to ChatGPT to write as a right politician, you will see that the answer is already different. Here you have some links with different characters that you can use. You just copy paste. Little summary to do. Most of you speak Dutch here, but you speak English as well. Be aware that on the internet, English represents, I think, 70% of the content available, compared with Dutch, which is 6%. To be confirmed, I can confirm on ChatGPT, but I don't have a lot of time now. And here's the thing: if you look for something directly in Dutch, you will have access to 6% database. If you look for something in English, you will have access to 70% database. So for the quality of results, I will advise you to use English for your first question. Then you can easily ask for translation. And believe me, ChatGPT is insane in translation. It's super, super good. Comment on your own work with AI. This is my own point of view, but don't use AI as a way to create stuff. Use AI to make the work even better. Write the article on your own and ask ChatGPT to improve it, change the tone, be more neutral, or this kind of things. Last but not least, don't lose your critical sense. ChatGPT isn't God. Believe me, it will make still mistakes. I still see mistakes nowadays, and don't take everything from ChatGPT for granted. use your critical sense. But believe me, in 95% of cases, the answers are still good enough. Last but not least, and I will take a moment for you to read this because I think that's important. Why I'm finishing with that slide is because I've seen some managers who use ChatGPT to write, for example, emails to fire someone. I've seen some leaders who use ChatGPT to give feedback to someone. I've seen some employees who use ChatGPT to write email to the human resource to explain that they're sick. Myself, at the beginning, I was answering to all my WhatsApp messages with ChatGPT. Typically, imagine I'm here. Sorry. I hope I won't be muted. I will show you an email, for example. I received this. My colleague reply in a, I would do something like this. And then, hey, my tracker, thank you for sharing. And then I will copy paste and just send the email, adapt if necessary. Tag. And tag. Obviously, you remove the. Okay. So I'm showing this. When do you stop to use the tool? When do you consider that it's too far from your own ethics? Do you really use ChatGPT and artificial intelligence to write a love letter? Are you going to use artificial intelligence to give a feedback to one of your employees extra? In this, as future leaders or current leaders, I think you should be able to stop yourself sometime as well. This is a good answer. Honestly, like it's 10 times better of what I could answer to my own girlfriend. But here's the question. Is it really me? Is it really what I want to share? Because in the end, you don't become slave of the tool, still be the master of it. And if you end up answering everything and use everything with ChatGPT, you will see that you don't really give a soul to your work anymore. Like if any reply or any feedback you give it with artificial intelligence, you will see that when you need to write a real feedback or when you're face to face with someone, you will be different and try to be yourself there. This close this ChatGPT question answers. At the end, there is a little surprise. I don't know if I can already show it to you. Maybe I will do that just later, but a surprise is coming in. Thank you.